Hello everyone, I am the TCG Gimmick and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at some information, at what seems to be a lot of information, but it really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. I have been wanting to make a video like this for quite a long time now, but had zero idea of how I was actually going to go about doing it until I just did it, right? And that's YouTube in general. You never really fully know how you want every individual aspect of a video to go. And sometimes you just have to go for it and it'll figure itself out along the way. And that's kind of what I'm here doing. So the main concept, or whatever you want to call it, behind this video is looking at my shipping or my orders for like the past about a month or so. It's 42 orders that we're going to be taking a look at. Well, that's incorrect. Well, no, yes, it's 42 orders that we're going to be taking a look at and breaking down some information so that anybody who is new to selling can get an understanding of how numbers and certain things look like being the little guy. And when I say the little guy, I mean I'm not even breaking $100 a month right now selling. I feel very often that we see these videos from all these really big kind of content creators. You know, how am I doing things with my six-figure digit store a year, card selling, a year, or how am I doing on Tcgplayer and, making whatever, $1,000 a month, $6,000 a month, whatever. Like usually it's all these people who are successful already and have these grand numbers that seem really hard for us little guys to try and get to and try and conceive. And so we start to look at things like, oh, we want to start doing that. I would love to stay home and not have to work a full-time job if I can make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year selling pieces of cardboard online to people. I think anybody who's in this type of business would love that. Stop working the 9 to 5 and be able to package and ship out orders and look at cards all day long and open up packs and to get more stuff, and all of it just sounds so appealing, right? But where do you begin? How do you start? What do the numbers look at from the bottom? And how do you grow on those numbers to get to the top? I am the bottom for the most part. I have been doing this for about a year. I stopped selling for about 3 months or so at the beginning of this year, and I recently got back into it. So the timeline was the ending of July of 2023 is when I started. It was like around July 17th or something like that is when I first started posting cards, and I made my first sale around July 21st or 22nd. And then I ran and I did this all the way up until sometime in about February or March, in which I stopped because I wanted to change a lot of what was going on. Basically, I was finding it very difficult to find cards due to my organization, and I would have to do like partial refunds of orders and things like that often, just because I couldn't find the cards that people were wanting. And I decided enough was enough. If I would genuinely want to turn this into a real business, I need to sit down and get organized and figure out the best way for me to do this that makes sense for me, and I can make the process a whole lot smoother. Fast forward a little bit, sometime around middle of May, I started posting cards again. Then sometime beginning of June, I made my first sale again. Obviously, it was on the same account, so it wasn't actually my first sale, but it was my first sale back in a long time. And here are the numbers from that point on up until now. So let's call it, I don't know, the second week of June up until June? July? I will have to, in post, I'll have to throw up. Might have been end of June, beginning of July-ish is actually when I started selling again. Funny enough story about that. I had lost my job. So I have a full-time job. I also work a part-time job. The day that I was about to lose my part-time job, I made my first 2 sales in a while after posting more stuff to my store. And here we are now. So I want this video to be, I know I started rambling a lot in the beginning. I do apologize for that. I think it is semi-important though, so people have an understanding of where I'm coming from, so you understand my background, and then we can delve deeper into the knowledge that I have now, so it makes a bit more sense. So let's kind of get into this and let's explain what we're looking at. What we're looking at currently is all of my orders that have happened in the last month and a half or so, and how I have broken it down so that I can understand everything. There's a better way. I don't know it off the top of my head. This is what I've come up with in a free way that makes sense to me. Would I want to do this like this once things get a lot bigger? No, I would like to find a better way in what certain math and stuff that could be done for me. But being a small channel right now, or being a small store right now, this is what makes sense to me. And at least it gives me an idea, like a breakdown, so that I can understand where my money is going, the return on my money, so I can know how to best invest it later on, and then what I need to do to get more of that money. So we have, in order from across the top, we have original price plus the shipping cost. So when you look in Tcgplayer, you will have an order. So here we have the product amount. So this is the amount of money that they spent on buying cards from me. This is my shipping cost. So this is the order amount, right? So this is original price plus shipping cost, or AKA the order amount. Then the taxes here is what Tcgplayer takes out on their end. And then obviously it's my take home amount. Then from there on are all the materials that I use. Top loaders, team bags, penny sleeves, paper, envelopes, stamps, tape. Is everything I use besides the ink from my pen, which I don't feel like is necessary to charge for. Then the total amount that cost is, and then how much money I've either earned or lost on an order based off of the shipping cost on that order, right? And this is up until about 14, I wasn't very organized. I had things just kind of vaguely written out on a sheet of paper, but I didn't really go in depth too much with a lot of things. So this is my attempt at fixing that type of stuff, But as we go down further, we'll actually see definitely like the later orders where things get way more tangible and there's like way more information involved. So we're going to start looking at more of this section because this section is way more, this section shows a better understanding of everything than the top does, but I'm just kind of showing you at least at the top, like this is where I started and this is what it has evolved into. From here, these are orders that I did recently. So 42 and 43 actually just did them today. So we can actually take a look at those and the changes as things have progressed. So a big thing that things have progressed is the number of penny sleeves that I use per order. Not every order in the past did I use penny sleeves on the cards. If they were really cheap, $1 or like a dollar, penny, 5 cent, whatever cards, and people bought multiple of them, I would just shove them in the team bag together with the top loader and send it out that way. I stopped doing it that way almost immediately. Like I used to not do it that way. Then I was like, well, it'll save me on cost to do it this way. And I was also running out of material that I couldn't pay for. And then I realized it's just not good to do it that way. A lot of things could happen. And I don't want that to be on me. Like, I don't want any damage to happen to somebody's cards just because I wanted to be lazy or try to pinch a few pennies. So this is the new. So now I actually put a penny sleeve on every single card that gets shipped out, no matter what. And sometimes it gets expensive, like 15 cards per order. So this is 30 cents in penny sleeves, but it's worth it. I will get that back in cost, and I can just buy more later on. It's fine. And so that's kind of like the general breakdown. A lot of these numbers stay the exact same. Most orders, you will only use one top loader. There, in this entire 42 order list, was there one time in which I'd use a second top loader. So a lot of these are very easy fixed prices, no matter what. Never mind. Sorry, looking at something. So, like team bags will always be 5 cents, and it'll pretty much always cost you 5 cents unless you have to use 2 in an order. The most fluctuation you will find is in envelope cost, depending on where you buy them, in penny sleeves based off how many you use per order, and in stamps, as they will eventually increase about every 6 months. So to actually give a number to everything going on, I have done the math so I can give you a tangible idea of how much money I have made and or lost through this process, selling mainly cards that are like 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, by the way. Not a lot of this is actually selling crazy high-end cards. A lot of this is on the lower end bulk. So it is also, this shows the importance of what bulk can do for you. Are you going to lose out on orders? Sometimes, yes, it's gonna happen. It is unfortunate, but part of it too is just making the sale, gaining a rapport with people so that more people will start coming back to your store and they will buy more stuff the next time around or whatever, and you can start gaining attraction. That way you can sell more stuff. So sometimes it's okay to take a loss if it makes sense in the long term of the business. The numbers broken down out of 42 orders, I have lost profit 20 times. Sorry, it's on a sheet here. That's what I keep looking over at. I have lost 20 times, which sucks. That means I've lost 20 times, but a lot of them, you know, the most you've probably seen, 36 cents is the most, and that's only happened one time. 29 cents the other one. It sucks. It really, really does. Thankfully, in my saving grace, I have done orders in which I have gained $1 back on, $1.22, $13. You know, I have orders in which I've done bigger sales, in which that makes up for the cost. But let's look at these numbers, okay? Out of 22 or out of 20 losses, that is only equaled out to be $3.24. That's it. Which really isn't that bad at all. If you can do bigger sales to make up for the occasional loss here and there, it's okay. Then I have 2 sales that have been even. I haven't made a profit. I haven't lost a profit. I have 1 sale in this list that I don't have an input on, profit or loss. And I have 19 sales with profit to them. But that profit is equaled out to be $38.50. So if you were to take my profit minus my loss, it actually comes out to be $35.26 of profit that I could do whatever I want with in about a month, month and a half. But then you're asking yourself, that seems like a really low number. What about the shipping cost? Because that's a whole separate number, and I get that money, right? Well, yes, I do. I got that money, but that money is counted towards its own separate total, and you need to be able to differentiate each. You don't want to start mixing all these numbers together, and then you start buying up because okay, I'll explain why. My material cost $45.97. That means the grand total of my take home is $80, like $81 and something cents, which is just below $100 that I've made in about a month on basically bulk cards. 2 orders were a decent amount above that, but that's it. But the importance, as I was saying beforehand, the importance of splitting the 2 things is because you need money to refund back into the business on the actual like material side of things. Some people could look at that number of $81 and be like, holy crap, I could buy a bunch of products with this, or I could buy a bunch of card lots with this, or whatever, and restock my supply, and I get all these cool things, and I get something of value, and I could try to sell it off. You do that, and then what happens? You have no material to ship it out with. You could run out of material, and oh wait, I have no money. No money to buy more material, and you could get orders in, and you can't send out that orders because you have no money. And the point is to not take money out of what you're making elsewhere. This is supposed to be a business in which it rolls back into itself. Yes, you will need capital when you start. And that's every business. You need to put something in it to start. I have a video coming out soon that actually explains how little it takes to get started doing this. And it is so little. It is so little that you actually need to spend to get started and to get a good number of orders in. So you can start making your money back on this. So that is my breakdown from this past month or so. Every month I would like to do a breakdown. This is my first try at it. I'm sorry if it didn't come out very good. I am working at it, but also this video was a way to encourage people or at least, yeah, to give an encouragement to people who are afraid to do it on the small end and what's going to happen. It is, if this is something that you're into, that you want to turn into a business at some point in time, or at least be able to make a little bit of money off on the side consistently, then I highly recommend it. And it's not hard to do. Growing in levels is not hard to do either. You start off at level 1 on Tcgplayer, and there's only so much that you get with being level 1, and level 4 is the max level you can be at. I'm a level 4 seller. I got my level 4 sellership in like 2 months or something like that. It's not hard to do, as long as like the biggest thing is having an inventory, getting a lot of inventory posted, and shipping cards out properly so that there's no damage and things like that, and that they make it to people, and they make it to people on time. So also remembering to get things out as soon as you can. So, but that will also be another video at some point in time. So please subscribe to my channel. Look out for this content from somebody who's smaller, from somebody who has had to readjust and go through the nitty gritty recently, in which I could probably give out, in some regards, more helpful information to people right now than somebody who's already been doing this for a couple of years, and they're just a little bit too far ahead of the mark of understanding the nitty gritty right now to be a small one in the sea of bigger people who are doing it. I hope this video helped, and I hope this video encouraged people to sit down and generally take the consideration of, can I do, like, do I want to do this? And if the answer is yes, realizing that is a very tangible thing that can be done. I thank you guys for listening. Please, again, subscribe to my channel. More videos will be coming out soon that is going to really break down more and more parts of this that I kind of discussed in depth, so you too can be equipped to run a store. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.